stream might actually be live now. We'll see if it goes through.
Oh, yes.
Yay! So, hi everybody. Technical difficulties. I forgot to update my stream key, so oopsie daisy, but that's why we're late. We also are very chatty in this house, so yet another reason. It was a good reason though to be late, right? So, good evening everybody. Sorry that we're so, I mean, I guess we could say fashionably late. Anyway, we're not going to linger on the lateness. Good evening. My name is Avery, and I will be the mash to your potatoes. I mean, your dungeon master for tonight. That was a really lame joke, but Thanksgiving is next week for us Americans, so I just wanted to talk about mashed potatoes at least once on stream. Okay, I really like mashed potatoes. So, I use they, he pronouns, and before we jump into today's session, I'm going to have players go around and introduce themselves, and we're just going to go in the voice call order, so Alicia is going to be first.
Hi everyone, my name is Alicia. I use she, her pronouns, and my character's name is Callie, who also uses she, her pronouns.
And then Corey.
Me. Hi, I'm Corey. My pronouns are he, they, and I play Lim, whose pronouns are also he, they.
Flexi.
Hi, I'm Flexi. I go by he, they, and I play Kokia, who is he, she, or they.
And then Hale.
Hey, hi, I'm Hale. My pronouns are they, he, and I play Basil, who is he, him.
Last but not least, Stormy.
I am Stormy. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Finn, who also uses he, him pronoun.
And last but not least again, but also not here right now, is Friends. Our dear friend who plays Friends is Caleb. They use they, them pronouns, and Friends uses he, they. Caleb IRL recently had a kid and probably won't be with us for a while, but the love is still here, and we're hoping they're doing well. So, moving on, apologies in advance, viewers, but we've got a lot of announcements for this episode, so buckle your boots and get ready to go, go, go. So, if you missed earlier episodes, or if you're not able to watch the whole episode tonight, don't you worry. So episodes are available on Mothcat Gaming YouTube channel. Just search Mothcat Gaming, and on Spotify under Mistakes Were Made, look for the Mistakes Were Made that has a tiefling icon. You can access these episodes and other handy links by going to our Twitter, MWM_pod, or using our link tree, linktr.ee/MWM_pod. There's also a handy link tree command for people on Twitch if you want to use that instead of trying to type all that out. Episodes 1 through 8 are now on YouTube. I'm a bit behind on the other episodes, but 1 through 6 are on Spotify, and hopefully after next Sunday, hopefully 1 through 9 will be up on all platforms. We play every other week, and our next episode will be December 1st. I made an oopsie last week saying this was the recap episode. This isn't the recap. This is episode 10. So if you're looking for the recap, tune in December 1st, where we'll recap episodes 1 through 10 by playing some fun games like Kahoot and Giartic Phone. There'll also be a super exclusive sneak peek to episode 11 and an announcement regarding guest players and having a chance to play on a D&D podcast. And then kind of related to my joke earlier, so I joked about Thanksgiving for Americans earlier. We're not streaming on Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving week at all, but I kind of wanted to acknowledge the holiday. In celebration of the holiday, I added the articles 100 Ways to Support Not Appropriate from Native People and 6 Things Every Non-Native Should Do on Thanksgiving to our link tree. I read them. I found them super helpful and great. I highly encourage people, especially people who aren't Native or Indigenous, to read those and to follow the advice they provide. Kind of similar to that, I also added a link to the podcast NDND. It's a D&D podcast played/ran by Native and Indigenous people. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm not caught up in NDND, but from what I've listened to so far, it is such a blast, and I highly recommend it. Kind of putting all these links in the link tree is temporary. I plan to make a Google Doc where I recommend articles and content from various types of creators. Eventually, this is just kind of my rough draft start. So in the future, there will be a Google Doc where this information and recommendations are all year round, so support's all year round, just not on the holidays. So thank you for listening to that, and I really hope both players and listeners consider checking those out, because I think it's especially on such a intense day, to be supporting everyone. So moving on from that, we got our usual trigger warning. So this channel obviously has a mature filter on. You know, we got improv acting, violence, blood, potty humor, some swearing, combat, betrayal, backstabbing, amnesia, mind control. Not super intense, but intense enough where I thought we should put the mature filter on. Watch at your own risk, preferably adults only, but if you got your parents' permission, then who am I to tell your mom what to do? So, this episode was supposed to start at 9:10. We're a little late. It's going to be around 10:45 EST. I know it's not super long, but I have to work in the morning. So around halfway, we'll have a 5-minute break. You can hear us laugh, whatever. We don't have any sponsors because we're a small podcast, but maybe we can make a joke or two while people run to the bathroom. So yay, intro over. Tonight's recap is where we're going to start. So tonight we pick up from where we left off last session. Last session, back in episode 9. Episode 9 is called Divine Intervention, which you can read about on our wiki if you need to. But anyway, the party was still in Finn's hometown of Skystead, successfully saving the town from becoming corrupted by candy tainted by evil gods. They shifted their focus to helping Finn's corrupted mom and a corrupted wereowl. While trying to heal these folks, they were confronted by Honey, a corrupted grung, aka frog person, who was not only corrupted but temporarily possessed by the evil god, the Raven Queen. Via Honey, the Raven Queen ridiculed her demigod child / ally of the party, End. The corrupted people and End were defended / saved by the party, Finn's mysterious otherworldly tarot card deck, and the middle god, wow if I can talk today, Arul, who is the goddess of seasons and nature. Arul is the child of 2 old gods, Lyra and Adia. Lyra is most notably the goddess of life. After healing those who were corrupted, the party rested at a local orchard where Arul provided the party with much needed information about the Traveler, Lyra, the Raven Queen, and the Feywild. I need to add more commas because that was such a long sentence. Oh, did the stream just die? No!
Nope, it's good.
It's good? Okay, thank you. I was like, hopefully you caught that word vomit I just read. So the action start, here we go. So according to Arul, gods' home planes / domains are ones that other old gods cannot enter. For example, the Raven Queen cannot enter Lyra's home domain of the Feywild. This means that folks in the Feywild can't be corrupted or scryed upon by the Raven Queen. While Lyra is more than happy to keep folks safe in the Feywild, there is limited space and she cannot house all living creatures there. Instead of hiding folks in the Feywild, Arul proposed a different solution, asking the party to help a secretive but powerful ally. According to Arul, there's an old god close to the Raven Queen that is acting as a double agent of sorts. The downside of them being so close to her is that her corruption powers and her other means of suppressing, erasing, and manipulating thoughts have really weakened him, which is why he needs to have a vessel. He's been going to scarecrows and other inanimate objects, which temporarily allow him to communicate with you, but he needs a proper vessel. He needs his old pal vessel, who is Theodore. Theodore is currently a cursed rat and a friend of the party. Theodore used to be I can't remember if I said elf or half elf man. I should know this. This is my NPC anyway. He used to not be a rat, is my point. So Arul is asking you to help transport Theodore to the Feywild so he can get decursed, uncursed, whatever you want to call it. And so the powerful ally can then use the vessel to bypass the Raven Queen's powers and help you stop her. Arul, as a middle god, can't open up portals to the Feywild anywhere and anywhere she wants. Only Lyra can do that, so you gotta travel to where there's naturally a portal. There is a portal in Alfos, in the country of Alfos, but you gotta travel through the country of Karun to do it. So you got some traveling to do. And then, last but not least, I want to mention that the very last thing we heard last session was Lim had managed to talk to the god, the Traveler, via his magical amulet. The Traveler informed him that their communications had been compromised and told y'all to run. So, with that summary, with that knowledge given to you, friends, what are you thinking about? What are you gonna do?
Dude, I forgot about the run part. Damn it.
We're running.
Well, who needs to run? Is it Lim? Is it the Traveler, or who?
I think the Traveler told us to run. Like right at the end.
Run.
Yeah.
Someone's playing this
that's
now.
Yeah, I was talking to the I forgot we had
Okay.
those sound alerts, so I was just like,
Oh.
oh, this is perfect.
I gotta
Run.
turn the volume on that
Da-da-da.
down. It was so loud. But so well
Oh,
timed.
Do we have to turn it down? Like, is there a
Oh
way
my
to turn
God.
it down?
I feel like there gotta be. I just don't know what. But thank you, whoever played that.
That was me.
That was
That was
Corey.
You're like, listen, I've got
I just did
got
for you.
timing skills.
Their
But
performance.
anyway, yeah,
that's
that's yeah. No, we have not yet run, but we were directed to run now. So
all. Right. I'm trying to get back into that mindset now, like, because I was
Yeah,
thinking, oh, I have
like-
this other thing that I can say, but now it's like, shit, I forgot we were told to run.
where are we running to?
Can I, with the command to run, can I like just look around and make sure we're not in immediate danger?
Yeah, that's a
Can I vibe
good
check them?
call. Yeah, vibe check.
Yeah.
Vibe check.
Let's start the stream off by everybody
Could
doing
I-
a vibe check. How about
I
that?
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you want me to do insider perception, but
Your
Or
choice.
something
Whichever
else.
you're feeling like you can handle more. You better at one than the other, or are you equally good or bad?
Oh, I
I'm
got
gonna
something for
do
that.
insight because I'm actually good at it.
The kids in the trees.
There's several children drop
in the
down.
trees.
Oh God, what is this hook? What's going on?
So I'm gonna start with the fun one first. So Kokia, my lovely fawn friend Kokia. So you're kind of looking around, checking out the cool apple orchard, because this is where like a real brought you here to talk. Out of town, out of sight. You're trying so hard to look and focus, but you're just so distracted. This is such a fun farm. There's chickens, there's rabbits, there's apples. There's just so much stuff to look at and play with. You're just like, you forgot what you were looking for. You're just so happy to be here. This is such a fun environment. So
I'm
that's
definitely stealing apples.
yeah. Go ahead. I mean, honestly, y'all are so busy talking. You could be stealing them right now, and no one would notice. Like y'all are so busy working this important stuff out. You're just in the background stealing and maybe inhaling apples. Since everyone else, I'm gonna say that everyone else, so basically anyone higher at a 10 at this point, nothing is attacking you. There's not anything, there's no people, no corrupted people near you. Like, there's no, like, humanoids near you that are dangerous. You're not actively getting attacked. You are starting to notice, however, that there are starting to get more birds in the orchard, so you're starting to see more ravens and more owls. So you're not in immediate danger, but you're already starting to get the warning signs of like, yeah, danger might be headed here soon. So like, immediate no, soon yes.
I'm like, I don't even tell the group. I just start walking away because fuck no, we're not doing this again.
You don't
There's
want
gonna
to
be
fight
like
a
a power
swarm of
walk.
ravens again?
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me to power walk because I have
Right.
slower movements because of my arthritis, but I power walk as well as I can. And I'm just like, let's go.
I think I match Finn's pace and just follow
Yeah.
Finn.
I think probably before my disguise wears off as well, because disguise self only lasts for an hour.
Oh yeah, because
So
you're
I
Matt
gotta
Mercer
go.
right now.
Unless the patch functions differently, but that's in the raw of disguise self that it only lasts an hour. We've probably been here for more than an hour. We should go before somebody recognizes me.
I almost forgot you
If
were
somebody
disguised
will.
as Matt Mercer, not gonna lie. Then I was like, oh wait.
Yeah. While I was, I'm probably not going to be in a second.
You're like timing yourself like 3, 2, 1 and disguise gone.
Yeah.
Out the door.
The second time I've had to make sure that it's not been an hour. First time was with the guard. It was
Right.
like knocking out the saber-tooth tigers, and now it's my disguise self. Yeah. I'm going with Basil.
Yeah, if we're leaving, then Callie would like
Come on, Cookie.
turn and thank the family who invited us to the orchard and sorry to chat and run.
So, just a reminder for both players and viewers. So, the family you got invited to the orchard are they're also worshippers. They're worshippers of like the traveler, Lyra, Arul, a whole bunch of them. It's the turtle family that runs the orchard. So there's currently the only ones home right now are little Emily, who's a little turtle girl, and then there's also her grandpa there, and they're both just like, sorry to meet you under such intense circumstances. Please come back again soon. And Emily just goes, yeah, next time I'll give you a tour again, but this time at the orchard. I love orchards. They're so much fun. Plus, I eat a lot of apples when Grandpa's not looking, and the Grandpa goes, what? And she goes, nothing, bye!
Oh my god.
Yeah, Callie would wave to the little girl before she went out.
Everybody wave to the kind little child.
Yeah, I'll turn back and wave and then be like, we gotta go. Just walk. I'm like, no, thank you.
So I'm gonna say that you guys you don't want to walk all the way to Alfos, right? Like that's a long walk.
Yeah, walk to the. There's a train system. We can
there
walk out the
is. You
train,
want to walk to the train station?
Yeah, let's hope there's no birds there.
I don't know where
the
the
last
train
time we got
station is.
I do.
Because
It's probably not in Skystead, but I mean I would probably know where the closest one is, right?
Yeah. So
something bad happened to us last time we got on our train.
Yeah.
So
Well, when the
Skysted's
train stopped, it was bad.
yeah. So Skysted's a really small town. There's a bigger town a little bit a ways ahead, and then in between the two towns there is like a small station. Kind of like the place was kind of like rural gas stations. It's kind of like more of like a waypoint. Like
Yeah.
instead of giving each town one, they just went in the middle, and that way technically both towns had one without having to put two stations in. So there is a small station in between the two. For the sake of wanting for the getting to where I want to tonight, I'm gonna pretend you guys just walk there. Skip ahead. We're traveling but not lingering that much. So you're now at this little tiny train station. It's basically, think of like modern day toll booth. Like it's basically toll booth size, like just enough where like the attendant can like give you your ticket and like motion to you to go to the platform, and it's not fancy, it's not big. It's currently actually empty right now. There is a close sign on the window, and there's also a note on the window. There's also graffiti. And as you guys get closer to the window, you're able to read the message on it. And so, does Haven Enterprise invent every single thing? No, but they do have a monopoly on a lot of inventions in transportation, and they basically do have a monopoly on trains right now. And as you read the messages in the graffiti in the train station, it has become apparent to you that there's actually a strike going on right now. So the strike, according to the note on the window, is on day 3. They are protesting unpaid overtime, unsafe working conditions, and apparently there was some deaths in the company recently of some railway workers. The description of the incident is eerily similar to how Taylor, our old friend Taylor, said their parents died, so that's kind of ominous, right? There's no news of how soon the strike's gonna end, but the train station basically is out of service and there's no trains coming. There is, however, a second piece of paper that said, that proposes some other means of transportation. Excuse me, did not mean to burp on on live. Anyway, so there's another piece of paper that proposes other means of transportation. You could buy like a horse and wagon or like a simple steam-powered car. That being said, you would have to probably walk even further. There's also a note about how just a little bit up the road there is a second station. That station isn't a train station, but rather a fueling station for airships, so that walk is shorter than the horse and wagon buying one, but it is a little bit further, so you could go by airship. And those are like the proposed methods of transportation while the strike's going on.
Airship sounds fun.
Is it bad that I kind of want to go to the strike? I'm not gonna, but like, Finn is chaotic good, so yeah. No, Finn's chaotic good, so he's kind of like, what if I just like join the line. No. Yeah, I like the sound of the airship.
What if we seize the means of production?
Yeah.
What if?
You're like, what if we
A
make
bunch
a
of fourth
pit
level
stop?
adventurers. Yeah. Just a bunch of fourth level adventurers roll up and we're like, we're here to help.
Yeah,
I'm
so...
trying to think of something to add to the graffiti real quick, but it's not coming to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
What does the
is...
graffiti say?
The graffiti, actually, if you want to... You know what? I'm going to make you roll for it. So roll if you want to see what kind of graffiti you find.
Oh, heck yeah.
Is
What
it
am I rolling?
Roll a... I'm going to say a D3, and I'll tell you what kind of graffiti you find.
Okay.
May I also roll?
A
Because
D-
Finn would be
A
interested.
D3?
Yes, go. Anyone who wants to see what the graffiti's like, go for it.
How do roll?
3.
Okay.
Ew.
Nice. Nice.
I think I rolled.
You did.
How do you do
Oh, wait, no.
a 3?
That was Kokia.
You do dash roll and then space D3.
Oh.
There it goes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
2s and 3s. There we go. Now we got them all.
We got all of them, Avery.
Alright.
Give us all the lore.
Nice. So we're gonna start with Lim. So the first graffiti, you notice, is Lim point. Lim. You can choose whether or not you point it out, but Lim, you just like turn your head to the right, like just past the window, and just past the window of like the attendant's little box thing. Someone just drew a giant dick, just like the biggest penis drawing you've ever seen.
I would like to
And that's
go
why
and-
this.
Can I draw
Go
like
ahead,
little
sorry.
sparkles around it? Like, can I like draw little like shinies on like the outside of this giant penis graffiti?
Yes, I say absolutely yes. In fact, someone was kind enough to leave a box of spray paint, so like you could use your own materials or you could use spray paint.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for the shiniest spray paint they have, and I'm gonna add little sparkles to the big penis.
Yeah, so you with a gold glittery spray paint, add what you want.
Heck yeah, it is done.
And this, dear listeners, is why this stream is rated 18 plus.
Yes. And then
We've
we're
earned
gonna go to Kokia next. So Kokia, on across from the now glittering penis drawing, there is someone drew like a stick figure version of the current CEO of Haven Enterprises, and like gave him like angry eyebrows and like monster teeth, and then and with a speech bubble, and then the speech bubble says, "I'm a big old poo-poo head that only cares about money, rar." And then Basil, past the stick figure drawing, you see there's another drawing of the CEO of Haven Enterprises, but instead of drawing him as a stick figure, it is someone drew him as like a Grim Reaper, and that one is captioned, "The only thing I hoard more of is souls, but the more of the money is souls." And then Stormy and Calvin got the peak, like the best ones, and I didn't prepare. I forgot to. I remember thinking about having poems be some of them, but I forgot to actually write the poems down. So let me BS some poems real quick. So
You mean they're better than the
Take a roll on.
penis?
or maybe
Take a roll on.
or maybe just moments of prose. So or
Quote a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan lyrics. Let me do it.
Someone just
The pump don't work because the Vandals took the handle. Would actually work very
someone
well in
just
this
spray
scenario.
painted the lyrics to Black Parade by my MCR just on it. Just kidding.
Excellent.
So one of them, I can't think of good poems right now, so we're just gonna go with prose. So, one of them is just, it's just kind of like a person's story, and the person's story just talks about how they've been working for this company for years, and that, they can't identify themselves by name, like, and prove that they work there because it's a safety thing, but they've witnessed a lot of horrible things, both now and in the past, and they fear that the expo planned for later in the year will kind of be the breaking point, and the casualties will expand from within the company to like the public, and that's why they're protesting, because they could see it getting even worse, even though it's really bad now. And then the second one, I'm gonna say the one that Callie found, is hers is really intense. Although it kind of reads as like conspiracy theorist a little bit. So this one has like a timeline of events, and it has like different people with different death dates and different connections to the company, and it talks about how the current CEO, you know, had other family members that were alive but are dead now, and it theorizes that he had them killed in a quote unquote accident so he could take over the company because otherwise he wouldn't have been in control. And it theorizes that this current CEO basically uses workplace accidents and especially train accidents as a method of covering up his illegal deeds. Like, it's basically, this thing is like a whole conspiracy thing about pinning the current CEO as basically a murderer who uses, quote unquote, flawed machinery or accidents to cover up the fact that he murders people, whether it's for personal gain or for money. It's basically just like a conspiracy timeline. And that's the graffiti that's on the station.
Wow. That's pretty heavy.
It's intense.
So, with that being said, we're going to move on to the airship station. So you walk about, I'm going to say probably about an hour. It's not, it could be farther, could be closer. But anyway, the airship station, much like the train station, is small and sparse. Understandably so, because the airships need space to land. There is currently one airship there now. It is called the Revenge of the Rose. Episode title, look at that. For those of you that follow us on Twitter, I kind of did a spoiler thing, kind of comparing it to Treasure Planet. So if you need a visual of the ship, imagine like the Treasure Planet ship, or basically a pirate ship that can fly. It looks a little beat up. It's a mostly wooden ship. There are like mechanical weapons and like steam power weapons attached to it, as well as like wings and like defensive metal armor to like the hull. But most of it, you'd say, is like wood that looks like it's been through a scuffle or two. There is a couple of like cast members that you can see. One of the people you can see is, and I'm gonna switch the Roll20 picture real quick so we're not on the orchard anymore because I'm so distracted by the orchard. I'm gonna switch it to the pirate ship one. So one of the people you see is a tiefling. So let me get it to the right one first. There we go. And I'll make their picture bigger on Roll20 so viewers can see. So one of the first few people you see is a tiefling. They're like a mostly green and blue tiefling. They got like short green hair that's chin length. They got lots of facial scarring and a scar along their neck. They're wearing blue clothes, and their clothes have kind of like a scaly texture to it, almost like fish scales. They're wearing a orange headscarf. They got short green horns, and they are currently refueling the ship. It looks like the ship runs on a mixture of like magical glowing canisters and steam and some other things that you'd have to stop and pick up. It also looks like they're making a package drop off, leaving packages for the male person to pick up. From where you're out in the ground, because the ship's pretty big, you can see like people walking by, just not details of them yet. But on the ground at your level right now is the tiefling, so you could talk to them. You could try to snoop around and see who else is there first, but the tiefling is kind of like your contact person right now.
Sorry, when you mean contact, you mean like the person who'll get us on the ship, or like some kind of, is this like a remembrance guild thing?
I mean, like, they're the only person. So the ship's like grounded and big. They're the only person like off the ship on ground level that like you could talk to without having to yell up to. Is what.
Oh,
what
gotcha.
I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they look like they're like looking for people, or like?
Make
Are they minding their business?
Why don't you make another check? You can do perception or investigation, I guess. Your choice.
Can I do insight? Because I'm trying to see.
Yeah, that works.
They're like where their heads at. Cool. Dirty 20.
Nice. 20. Let me skim my notes before I say anything.
Tell me more about the hot tiefling.
Tell me more about the hot tiefling. So yeah.
Do they like me? No.
Do you like me? Check yes or no.
Out of character.
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead. I was about to roast myself, but go ahead.
So they currently don't really seem like they're looking for anyone. It looks like they're really just like making a drop off of like package and stuff before moving on to their next location. You're far away enough where like they don't see you yet. You can hear them kind of yell up to some people about like, yeah, I almost got them all unloaded. I wish there was better security for the patches though. I feel like someone could just come along and steal them. And another voice goes, yeah, not much we can do about that. Besides, we're already behind schedule, especially if we're gonna make the protest like we planned. And they like just finished stacking boxes for the mail person to collect and deliver, and they are just starting to walk back up the plank to get on the ship if you want to try to catch them to talk to them.
Hey, you guys take your rides?
Oh.
So it was Callie that was asking?
Yeah.
So at this, the tiefling who wasn't really expecting anyone to be there, like, starts to trip over their own feet, like windmills their arms, and then catches themselves and turns around, and just goes, wow, you walk really quietly. I did not hear you at all. Also, no one, I mean, I guess some people wait for their packages here. It's not really that common because most people are working now. But anyway, not that I'm judging you. But point is, I didn't hear you coming and I wasn't expecting you here. We're a merchant ship, but I could check with the captain if you guys need a ride somewhere. Because now that we've unloaded, we probably have room. I mean, we don't have a lot of extra beds, but if you're okay with just sitting or sleeping on a pile of hay, we probably could make it work. I would just have to check with the captain.
Ellie will turn back to the others, just kind of like, well, like in her head, like gives you like a face, like, what do you guys think?
I'm okay with hay.
2 thumbs up.
I raise a hand and I just kind of go, would this be for free, or would you guys need like help with stuff, or do we pay, or like?
You know what? The tiefling says, that's great questions for the captain. Why don't you just come aboard and ask him yourself, and we'll go from there. And they continue to walk up the plank, and you guys can follow after them.
Okay.
So
I will follow after them.
Yep.
Kindergarten line.
Now
we formed the kindergarten line once again.
Here's the exciting part. I'm so excited for this. What were you gonna say, Flexi?
I make sure to step on the ship with my right foot.
Oh,
Okay.
yep.
Oh, interesting.
So here comes the fun part. You guys get to see more NPCs. So I don't have pit crews for everyone yet, but there are multiple staff. So on the deck, there's some more crewmates. So first person to walk up is your friend, the tiefling friend, the green tiefling you guys just met. It turns out their name is Farewell because as they walk up, a bugbear man like lifts his hand and goes, wow, I think that was fastest unloading speed yet. You might just beat your old record, Farewell. And he kind of like greets them as they get back on the ship, and it isn't until after he greets them that he goes, are these friends of yours? And for context, your new bugbear friend, he basically, if Chewbacca braided his fur, this is what this guy looks like. So like he's a very furry bugbear. Every single piece of fur is braided in some way. He's got lots of ribbons, lots of bows. He's wearing white and gray clothes, and his armband has a red like cross on it. So he's like a nurse or medic of some sort. He's also got like just like a simple cap on, and the cap has a cross on it too. And at his question, Farewell says, Not friends, just some folks that ran in on the way. They're hoping to tag your ride. Figured it'd be best to check with the captain first. And Griff, I just gave the name an accident, but Griff, his name's Griff. He just laughs and he goes, "Well, first mate knows best, right? So yeah, I'd say good to check with him anyway." And so you guys just met Griff, the ship's nurse. You want to talk to Griff at all? Or you want to keep walking?
Keep walking. I gotta talk to the captain.
Yep.
I do give Griff a wave and like a thank you, but yeah.
I would like to give Griff a crisp high five and then keep going.
Oh yeah, Griff returns it and he goes, "I like folks that know how to give a good high five, and that's the best one I've had in weeks." And then he whispers, "But don't tell Serena that, or she'll get real jealous real fast."
I'm telling Serena.
So you walk further into the ship. At this point, you're like where the mast is. So if you were to look up, you'd see like the big sails. The sails are your typical white, and then at the very top there is a flag. The flag is a black flag with a blue rose on it. The most notable thing about the rose is that it's not a whole rose. It's a rose that the icon has been broken in half, so it's like a broken rose or a cut rose, however you want to do it. But at least now you can kind of get the theme of the ship. It's the Revenge of the Rose, and it has a rose flag. And then finally you reach the captain's quarters, which is like, if you think of like a hobbit's home, it's like a circular door with a circular window. And just outside the captain's door, there is a little halfling. Apparently, past me thought it was funny to make a lot of descriptions based on celebrities. So this little halfling, she looks like a short version of Taylor Swift. She's wearing black clothes, a light blue apron, and she's just kind of mopping the deck right now. And as she sees you approach, she goes, watch your step, I lost the wet floor sign, and I'm really sick of people sliding around already. Like, I wish it was obvious that the floor is wet because I got a mop in my hand, but you should have seen Griff earlier. Oh man, he about face planted and slid for what felt like hours. It was so funny. I mean, luckily he's the nurse, so he could fix himself up, but I know I shouldn't laugh at pain, but it was hilarious. Anyways, at this point, she kind of like slowly notices that it's not just farewell over here, it's also you guys, and she goes, well, it's always nice to meet new folks. You here to talk to the captain?
Yeah. And if we were to fall, we'd just shake it off.
Ah, yes. Good old halfling chick right there. And at this, she leans her mop against the wall, and she like raps on the door with her little fist, and she goes, Captain, you in there? She's like, Captain's been going in and out all the time, stir crazy, really hates being on the ground. And at this, the door slowly opens, and you guys finally get a look at your captain. So let me get another pit crew up on the roll 20
God, if it's
for
another
you.
hot tiefling.
Another hot tiefling named Hello.
Hello from
Wait.
I don't know why that got me.
Please tell me the cook's name is Afidase.
Afidase.
So, I don't know what you're imagining for, like, a captain. Probably, like, I don't know. I know Treasure Planet, there's, like, the hot cat lady. Also, I know, like, there's Captain Jack Sparrow. Like, you're probably picturing that for a captain, right? That's not your captain. Your captain is a 1.5 foot tall fairy with fair skin, gold eyes, black hair. He's got his hair in space buns. He's got monarch butterfly wings. He's wearing a dark red and dark black. Probably the smallest and least intimidating silhouette you've ever seen in your life. And to make things even untraditional and captain-wise, because captains you normally picture someone super intimidating, right, and super serious. Well, Serena, who had knocked on the door for you, she goes, hello, new folks. Sorry I don't know your names. This is our captain, Captain Sassafras. And Sassafras just waves at you and goes, wasn't really expecting anyone to look for a ride, but new faces are always welcome. How can I help you?
I immediately get out Steven.
Okay,
we've got one
that's
of those.
okay. I think Kokia, we should ask first before we take pictures, okay? Because that's a whole person.
I don't think that's what they mean. Okay.
Steven's a fairy.
Steven's a fairy too.
No, I meant ask consent to take pictures.
I'm not taking pictures. I'm just bringing Steven out.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, Steven.
Oh
not
my
the camera.
god. Is this really we're doing? Oh, we have a fairy friend. Oh no, come on, Kokia.
Hey, we've got one of those too, man.
We got one that's even
That's-
smaller. We got the collectible size.
Collectibles.
Oh.
Maybe they know each
Oh
other.
no.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Oh god.
And Avery said we can't laugh the entire session.
Well, Avery, it's a very good thing we're not on a train right now because we would be off the rails by this point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Hey!
Hold on, that needs a sound alert.
Whoa, what are you doing?
What do we got for that
Sound
one?
alert. Hold on, I'm not on the stream. Wait,
Kevin, roll
fuck, hold on. Roll credit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was for the name of the ship, yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, you pull out Steven, and Steven goes, I don't know you, but I want to be a pirate. Arg!
Oh god. Oh no.
This is why I brought Steven out.
And Sassafras
Why?
goes, we're not pirates. However, it does seem that we have, similar morals, and it isn't until, you've all kind of gathered a bit that you notice that the captain does have a Remembrance Guild patch on, and so does Serena,
Yeah.
and, Griff's not in this conversation, but he, walks by you to go do something, and you see that he has one on too. So, there is another staff member of the ship you haven't met yet. But anyway, yeah, this is another person you haven't met yet, and then there's Farewell, who, Farewell, oddly enough, doesn't have a patch on though. But the others do. So Sassafras just says, like Serena said, Sassafras, sass for sure, or feeling sassy, and they kind of like chuckle at their own pun. And he just goes, so, well, first of all, thank you for not just sneaking on and hitchhiking, because that's happened before, and it leads to awkward conversations, and we're not really. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just kind of scary when you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and suddenly there's people that you've never met before on your ship, right? So thank you for not just sneaking on. So where you folks headed? This is probably about a ride, right?
Yeah, we're heading to Alfos.
Well, luckily, I mean, we're not going to be able to take you the whole way. I mean, I guess we could if you're willing to wait around a bit. We've got, we're planning on attending the bigger protest in Karun for the train station, because we've got some friends that were impacted by some of the recent accidents. We were going to stop there. We also got some guild stuff, and he kind of like nods to show that he sees that your patch. Guild stuff we got to do in Karun as well, but if you're willing to wait maybe like a day or two while we wrap up some stuff in Karun, we could take you the whole way. If not, we could at least get you to Karun. We've kind of been short-staffed ever since a few friends of ours were transferred to go help folks in the train station there. But so if you're willing to help, we can give you a ride for free. I don't know if you guys have any folks with any experience with airships or not, but Farewell, my first mate here, could teach you what you need to know about helping out if you're all right with that.
Yeah, I'm down to learn. Never been on one of these before. A little nerve-wracking.
I'm also down. Yes.
I've
Also-
technically been on a sea ship.
Yeah, so kind of experienced, but kind of not. Either way, sickness while moving on something that isn't land is very real. But luckily, we got Griff, who could give you a potion or two to get rid of that. I do ask though that if you do get sick before you get a potion for Griff, to try not to throw up on the floor, because even though we do clean the floors, if we get moving while flying, if you throw up on the floor, it's going to slide all along the floor and make a huge mess. So if you're going to heave, try to lean over the rail or in a bucket or something so we don't have a puke sliding across the floor.
Well,
Allie's
Lynn
gonna
doesn't
lean-
get seasick, but
Allie's gonna
Lim's
lean
very
over-
afraid of heights.
Oh, Lim's
Oh,
afraid of heights.
no.
Oh no.
Yeah, Lim is super afraid of heights.
Yeah, Callie's just gonna lean over to Finn real quick and just like whisper, like, "Do you think we should get Ferenz a bucket?"
I just nod, and I'm like, absolutely, we should.
As you say
I
this,
think Lim might need one too. I kind of gesture to Lim. I'm like, I don't think he's doing okay right now.
as you guys whisper this, Ferenz in the
Sure.
background is leaning over the rail and already heaving.
Oh, okay. Well, I turn to Callie and I go, I guess we don't need a bucket. Like with my hands up, like go shrug.
So Sassafras goes, well, sounds like we got ourselves a deal then. So listen, I'm not like a super high ranking person in the guild, but I've heard enough through the grapevine that y'all have earned a spot in the guild. I've got some extra patches if y'all want some of your own. We are like a mobile office, so our archives aren't extensive, but if there's information you're looking for or some mail, we might have it, we might not. You're free to poke around the archives. Just don't take any mail that's not addressed to you, obviously. And then you can talk to Farewell about what you need or what you need to help with and stuff like that. And so I've got a few things that I gotta go do, but if you have questions, ask Farewell, ask one of the other folks, and if all else fails, comes find me. But I'm the captain. Work never ends. And with that, he says, nice meeting you, and closes his office door and just has you guys leave so he can work on some paperwork and stuff. So, so now you're left with the folks you met earlier. So Serena's still cleaning outside the captain's quarters. There's Farewell, who's the first mate. And then Griff is like the nurse / cleric of the ship. There's also a cook that you haven't met yet. He's probably downstairs in the kitchen. Like Captain Sassafras said, there is it's like a mobile office. So there is a very small archive you guys could check out if there's information you're looking for or mail that you think you might have received. And like I mentioned earlier, Farewell doesn't have a patch, but Sassafras did mention the guild in front of them, and it didn't seem like an issue. So you could ask them about that if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it up to you what you're interested in.
I would like to figure out where, they meant when they said that there was someplace we could get a patch. I want a patch.
You want your own patch? They do come in handy with disguising yourself. So, at this Farewell says, well, if you're looking for a patch that's probably near the archive room, I can lead you over there if you want.
Yeah, cool, if everybody's okay with that.
Hey, you're a grown up, presumably. You can go where you want. As long as you don't jump over the side.
Basil just has a flash of separation anxiety from everybody and then starts to follow Farewell.
I mean, we did earn it, so Callie will shrug and follow.
I'm heading to the archives, but not to get a patch because I already have one. But I would like to look through the archives for something. But we can get to that in a second.
Yeah, so so you guys, the archive room and the tool room are both below deck. So you go below deck and you do pass the kitchen, and you don't really know what the cook's cooking because you're not going in the kitchen, you're just walking past. But through the little circular window of the kitchen door, you can see a human man. He looks a lot like the real-life British-Malaysian actor Henry Golding. He's wearing a simple flowy white shirt, brown pants, a purple headband, and a blue apron, kind of similar to Serena's. And he's mixing some pot of something. You don't know what it is, but it smells super good. So you walk past him in the kitchen as you go to the archive room. The archive room is actually right next to the tool room, patch room, whatever you want to call it. So, one of you could stop by the archive room, or whoever wants to go to the archive room, and the rest of you could go on to the patch room. I know Finn already has a patch because you got the one that we found on episode 0. So, yeah. So
I'm
feel
just
free.
I'm not over the fact that you just said someone looked like Henry Golding and we just nonchalantly walked past him.
I know. I knew when I was doing. I made so many hot NPCs this session. I knew
So
what I was
many
doing.
hot NPCs. Basil's just gonna be married to 3 people before this is over. Okay, anyway. Let's go get our patches.
Yeah, so why don't we... I think I'm gonna do the archive room with Finn. So Finn, are you going with them to get the patches, or are you gonna stop by the archive room first?
I would like to go into the archive room to look up something.
Okay, yeah, so go ahead in the archive room and go ahead and roll another D... Actually, no. I would like you to make 2
We'll actually have
rolls.
something... If we're doing this now, I would like to specify I'm looking for anything on Copernicus/Nick.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually make you do...
If they have anything.
I'm gonna make you do 2 rolls because you're for sure gonna find something because there's a lot of information there. And then I'm gonna have you do like an investigation check for the specific thing you want answered. So for Nick, I'm gonna have you roll an investigation, and then separately, I'm gonna have you roll a D3 because no matter what happens to the first roll, you're for sure gonna find information on something. It might just not be about Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll roll the investigation first. I will guidance myself beforehand to see if I make it. No.
Oh.
I would like to use one of my rerolls.
Yep, go
from
for
helping
it.
with the wiki real quick because
I mean, you got like tons
boy.
of them at this point, honestly.
I do. Better. Okay. And I'm gonna roll a d4 to add to this. 11. No, right. I'm not allowed to reroll again, am I? Or is it just once?
Because you've done so much work in the wiki, and I mean like a ton, I'm gonna say go for it.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, come on.
Alright.
Can I take the 11?
That's
Is
not
that
funny.
okay?
Yeah, so I'm gonna... Don't worry, you're gonna get something. So,
Okay. Oh, I'll roll a d3 as well real quick while you're
yeah, go
doing
for
that.
it.
So it's 11 total for the investigation,
Yep.
and then I rolled a 2 for the d3.
So, for the 11 on Nick, you don't find anything specific to Nick, but you do find something interesting. So what you do find is a document about types of gods. So you guys know about the old, middle, and young gods, right? But this document talks about additional kinds of gods that aren't as often talked about or are not often known about. So a few of the extra kinds they talk about are hibernating gods. So hibernating gods are gods that are actually older than the old gods, but are not as strong as like the fates. So they're hibernating because they're not dead or extinct or anything, but they're not really worshipped enough to be considered needed, and they just kind of go into like a dormant state. And then if their domain becomes needed again, a new god typically takes over their domain unless they wake up, but they don't often wake up unless there's a lot of people that begin to worship again. So there's hibernating gods, and then there's also another kind called forgotten gods. So forgotten gods, they're not literally dead, but they're dead in the sense that they no longer have a body to inhabit, so they exist on the mortal plane as raw energy. So they often get mistaken for fates because fates are like very ominous and not easily understood or seen. Forgotten gods, with the help of worshippers who like refuse to truly forget them, may come to possess a body again and ascend to godhood, but they are like pretty weak, and usually once forgotten they don't typically come back. So is it directly about Nick? No, but it does give you some interesting information to think about. As for your D3 roll, that roll actually went really well for you. You actually it seems like so the archive room you're in, it looks like they're in the progress as of reorganizing it, so some information is mixed up, and that's probably why you didn't find what you're looking for, because it's like in the progress of being reorganized and better sorted and stuff. But it seems you come across a section of like staff profiles, and the profile that you have is you actually have farewell staff profile right now. And reading their profile, you come to see why they might not have a patch, and I'll tell you why in just a second, but we're actually gonna pause and focus on the patch people. So the patch people, you know, farewell leads you to the room, and shows you the patches and tells you, you already know this, but tells you about like how they can be used to disguise yourself, just by not, even if you don't know about how to use disguise self spell and that sort of thing. And after giving you the patches, so they go, so I've heard a lot about you folks and what you're doing, but I don't really understand the why. Are you doing this because you worship the traveler? Like, what's your motivation here?
We don't understand either.
I do worship the traveler, and I still don't understand.
Well, that's valid. I mean, I guess you just doing it because you think it's the right thing, I guess?
It's the only thing I've got at this point.
My mom told me I had to go get a job outside of the house, so this is what I'm doing.
Good as job as any, I guess.
That is actual Basil lore.
I'm just on the run.
Ooh, well, that sounds like an interesting story. Maybe we could talk about it later. But to be honest, I was a bit surprised by you folks. Most people in the guild, they have a certain god that they're, or demigod, or just any god that's in danger that they're just trying to save, like a god that they're really like focused on and that sort of thing. So, I mean, I know some of you folks worship the traveler and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like you're super religious or anything. So that's uncommon and unusual. As they say this, you seem just like generally surprised by like your motivations and like kind of impressed that it's not like the typical motivations. And with that, we're actually gonna go on our 5-minute break real quick, and then when we get back, we're gonna go back to Finn. So BRB, because I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Nice.
Basil just being like, Mom said I...
And remember to put your name on your bucket so everybody knows which Tupperware is yours.
Oh my god. That's Basil's mom.
That's Basil's mom.
Oh man, Callie's reaction to that stuff at the train station though.
Hallie BB.
I have
No.
taken down.
Good. Callie
I've
is
written
so
down.
pissed.
Yeah, I've written down James Haven
Good.
because that sounds like a major backstory thing for Callie.
Lim like pulls out a little planner like, okay, so I'm not sure how we're really gonna squeeze this in, but we definitely need to do something about this corporation.
Yeah.
What are your guys' plans next week? Anybody
well-
burning down some factories?
Yeah,
About
well,
arson?
we're busy figuring out Kokia's backstory here and going to the Feywild, but we'll be back on Friday.
Well, that works
Oh my
out perfectly
gosh.
because I'm pretty sure Cookie is like our resident arsonist.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then we'll take the weekend to figure out the Haven Enterprises thing, and then on Monday we'll figure out what the hell's going on with Basil's mom.
No,
Battalion.
we already have it scheduled. Monday is finding Ferenza's daughter.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I forgot. Oh shit! I forgot to put that in my calendar. Hold on.
Yeah, Monday's Ferenza's daughter. Wednesday we can figure out Basil's mom.
Literally how we do backstories for characters. Just like, so we're gonna do session 0 this day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just squeeze it all in.
That's
Oh,
kind of what you do. Okay, so there's a tabletop game called Fiasco.
Oh God, no.
It's essentially a Coen Brothers movie, but like you do it in one session and it's all improvised. And there's no GM, so like basically everyone has a hand in making it.
I have a
It's
story
kind
for
of
this,
like-
but I cannot say it on stream.
Ah, okay. I imagine not. Fiasco gets pretty dirty pretty quickly and pretty dark because it's like I said, Coen Brothers movie. It's really graphic. But I was just thinking the fact that we're talking about like scheduling that, like, okay, this time we're going to talk about that, just makes me think of like how the whole first part of any Fiasco game is just figuring out who you are and what your relationship is with other people.
Yep.
I'm
I
back.
really want to play.
Welcome back.
Welcome
We
back.
definitely
Never-
didn't talk about your mom while you were gone. I mean,
Definitely
we
not.
did. I mean, we didn't.
I was gonna just
Definitely
say,
didn't.
I love
Definitely
how I
didn't.
came back to y'all talking about like penciling in. We're gonna figure out someone's backstory
Yeah.
today.
Yes! I'm so glad you heard that.
If not, they were gonna hear it when they listen back to the stream later.
Yeah.
And can I
I
just
love that you
say, I loved how y'all chose to check out the train station first, even though the airship was like definitely like a super cool thing because it led to like some fun like backstory pokes.
Right.
Well, you mean the first train station or the second one?
Honestly, both. I feel like.
Okay.
Well, I think me and Alicia had talked about it a little bit like off stream about how it's so funny about how me and her know that certain backstory stuff's been kind of in a way revealed, but you guys don't know it yet because you don't know the context. And me and her are like hee hee hee.
Well, I've definitely
Like-
written down the name James Haven because that sounds
like-
important.
It's like the things that you guys know but don't know that you know. It's so fun.
It is so good, and it's like every fiber of my being's like straining to not just say it because it's so fun.
Right.
I have a theory, but I'm not going to share it because it might
Dark
be
and
spoiler.
mysterious.
Suddenly
Callie,
starting to
Callie
understand
is
Callie way more now.
Callie is James Haven. Just kidding.
Whoa.
She's trans. Good for her. That'd be cool. Like, this is my way of describing in my dead name. Fuck this.
Right.
Literally die.
James,
That's
James
taking
Haven
dead
is
name a little too literally.
Even though I wrote remember, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
James
That's how I'm gonna-
Haven is like definitely older than Callie, so like but the idea's cool though, honestly.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, is everyone back from breaks?
Hale might not be.
They came back.
Oh no, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
I was
Just
like
watched
I was like we lost you for a second. Okay.
Just watched Hale accidentally deafen themselves.
I was like, oh,
I saw
I
those
know
little
that.
icons.
Just
I
like,
screamed.
how do you turn this shit off?
I screamed when I did it.
Screams into the void. So yeah, we come back from our break to talk about the stuff that Finn found in the archive. So we talked about one thing already. The other thing was you found Farewell's kind of like staff profile. So this is where the information gets spicy, Finn. So I don't know if I don't know. Spicy is a weird adjective. Maybe erase that from your mind. Anyway, this is where the lore gets real yummy. So in Farewell's staff profile, you got the typical things like name, age, whatever. But you also got some interesting stuff like parents. So, under parents, there is where the heck are my notes? Let me find the right spot first. So under parents, it has parent 1. So parent 1 is listed as Torm, and because I've already made you roll a bunch tonight, I'm just gonna say you know this already. But Torm is the middle god. They are the god of loyalty, protection, and selflessness. And then the parent 2 information, there's words written there, but every time you go to read it, the letters scramble and unscramble, and the only thing you can make out is old god, they them pronouns, but you can't make up the old god's name.
No! Is it him? It's not him, excuse me. Is it Lim's friend?
And then some interesting other stuff about on Feywild's profile is it kind of talks about like species, I guess. So it does have them listed as a species of tiefling. Under tiefling, it has a note about it does say originally it says middle god, but then under middle god there's like an asterisk and like correction, like the profile has been updated, and it says it's updated to former god of roses voluntarily gave up godly domain and immortality. And there is more detail on their file, but it must be like under like security or something, because the more you try to read it, the more the words on the page just scramble and like become like basically unreadable. But basically what you gather from this is that Feywild used to be the god of roses, used to be considered a middle god. They, for whatever reason, voluntarily gave up their godlyhood and are now mortal, and their parents are the middle god Torm, and then they have an old god parent, but you don't know who the old god parent is because you can't read it.
While I'm in here, I know that Patron's promise only extends to talking about the Traveler, but would I be able to like ask Nick for help like deciphering this? Is that possible?
Yeah. I feel like I need to have you roll something. I just don't know what.
You could roll religion.
I don't know if Nick can, but
yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say history, and I'll decide if based on your roll if Nick would know or not.
oh, my history is a +0. Okay, please. Maybe use
Or
my
I guess
reroll.
I could
this
say
one.
I guess you could do history or arcana, I guess.
Oh, well, sweet +2. Oh, I would like to use a reward to reroll that, please.
Honestly, go
Alright,
for it. I really
please.
don't care. You've done so much work in the
Please.
wiki. Like the wiki's so pretty because of Stormy. It's
Natural 20!
yes.
Yes! Give me the lore, Avery!
Oh my god,
I've
hold
been
on.
wanting
wait,
to
I need
yell that
sound
the whole
bite.
time.
Your rerolls like got me in a chokehold, and it goes, "Give me the fucking lore, Avery. Give me the fucking lore."
Well, okay, this is a real redemption arc for my rerolls because I went from being like, can I reroll? And you're like, yeah, you did so much work for the wiki, gets a lower number, and now I get a natural 20.
I love when we're playing Sweet Victory in the background. Yeah, so Nick is, as per usual, super vague, super not into giving you answers because why make things easy, but eventually Nick goes, "It's really none of your business, but fine." I can't remember the name either. Probably has to do with Little Miss Raven Queen. You know, her and her friggin' memory shit. But I can tell you that there used to be another old god. I don't remember their name because the Raven Queen is great at messing with all of our minds, but there used to be more old gods than there are now. I don't know if there still are because I can't remember what happened to the other one. The one that is likely Feywild's parent, because the Raven Queen really did a good job at basically erasing memories of them. But I do know that there was another one that would be more of a neutral party in our Raven Queen versus Traveler situation. So yeah, there's your answer, but not really an answer, and that's all I've got for you. And now, if you don't mind me, I was trying to take a nap because your little social hour is really boring to listen to.
I would like to take Nick out of my bag and just turn him towards me, the creepy fucking doll. And I just go, are you okay? Like, I know you were taking a nap. I just mean generally. You don't usually swear when you talk to me. You okay?
Nick just sighs and goes, "You're right, I don't usually swear. I'm usually better than that. But I take great offense that you are keeping the stupid cards in the same bag as me. We are two beings on completely different levels. You don't need them, you need me. I'm way more helpful than two cards, okay? They are cards. Cards. Pieces of card stock. Can you just, like, toss them over the side of the ship or something?
Are you jealous?
Pfft. Jealous of cards? No. Roll, and if you want, you can roll an insight check with advantage.
Absolutely, I am. Of course I am. Okay, dirty 20.
Yep.
Okay, dirty 20.
Nick seems to be both jealous and intimidated by the cards all at the same time.
I kind of take this in for a second, and I just go, look, I get the feeling that whatever put you in this prison of yours, whatever happened to you, I think she may have had something to do with it. And I'm sure that whatever happened to you was really traumatic and fucking sucked. And that may be why you're... I haven't listened to friends too much, but I feel like that might be why you're having a tough time right now. But I just want to let you know that even though I am your warlock and I'm technically beneath you in the hierarchy, that, like, I am in charge of where you go. So I would just like to gently remind you of that. And it is entirely possible that if... Well, you mentioned something about the cards going over. You could easily go over as well. I don't want to do that. You know me. I would rather not. But that is also a possibility. And I would like you to be a little nicer to me. Or that could become more of a possibility. You understand me?
Nick just goes, hey, let's not be hasty. I know
I'm
that
not going to be.
I know we're both in a sort of mood right now, but you gotta admit, I make a good point because what else are you gonna start collecting? Go Fish? You gonna make Go Fish your patron? You wanna be a fish boy? Like,
can I ask you something, Nick?
Fine.
Did you summon a god when I threw you? Well, I haven't thrown you, but have you summoned a god?
Okay, so they summoned a god one time. So maybe they're just, like, feeling the need to show off. I could summon a god if I want to. And in fact, I've probably done it before. I know, I'll do it right now. So, Nick, like...
Oh no.
You know, Nick
I think another guy.
Nick can't, like, really move the doll body, but, like, he makes, like, the doll eyes blink, like, 3 times in a row. And then just goes, boom, there's a god, and then waits, and nothing happens, and then Nick does it again and goes, well, doesn't farewell kind of count?
Is farewell behind me right now?
They're in the next room over.
I heave a very big sigh, and I just go, look, I understand that what happened to you fucking sucked. Like, regardless of what you were before whatever happened to you. I know for sure that somebody erased your memory. And you probably heard a rule say that even she couldn't remember you, which is pretty bad, because that means she is involved. So I just wanted to say that, I just want to say that, like, if you're stressed, there's not a whole lot you can do about it, but if you want to, like, just start cursing telepathically, like, I'm used to people getting upset around me, so I can take it. We don't have time to unpack all of that, but, you know, you're in my parents' attic, you probably remember some of that. If you feel like you gotta vent, please don't take it out on me later. like you're doing now. Please don't. Okay. It's okay to be... trying very hard to channel friends right now. It's okay to be upset sometimes. And I get that while you may be upset at me for something that I did, I also don't take it personally because it sounds like you are dealing with some stuff and you probably have a lot more going on than I do, and I understand that. I just wanted to let you know that, like, even if I don't understand everything going on with you, I am still here to listen. And I will do my best to understand. You don't have to... please don't feel like you have to hide anything from me. I don't think that you are on purpose, but you don't have to pretend like everything is fine. And I think pretending that everything is fine might actually be making it worse. Because you weren't swearing before, and you just did, and I get the feeling that that's kind of a bad thing. I feel like if Bruns were here, he would say the exact same thing to you. So... yeah, sorry, all that word spaghetti out of the way. I just wanted to thank you for the help. And thank you for getting me out of Skystead. And we're kind of stuck together for now, right? So let's try to make the journey a little more chill. Please.
At this, Nick just goes, ugh, fine. But you better not get like a deck of like 100 cards, or the bag's gonna get full real fast, and then I'm not gonna hold back. Then me and the cards are gonna have a problem. Okay? In fact, we already have a problem. You think it's bad that I swear like once? When you're asleep, those cards swear like a sailor. A sailor, I tell you. And for cards, they sure know how to take up a lot of space. And you know what? I know like movement happens in the bag when you walk, but I swear they get in space on purpose.
I shake the doll. Nick.
Nick just like rattles.
I understand you're having some problems right now. I am not currently planning on replacing you or taking on another patron. I promised you that I would do this. You need to trust me, like I'm trusting you. Okay? I was trying to be nice before, but you're just kind of going off, and, like, I get it. Are you venting right now? Is that what's going on? Or are you just stressed? Like, what's... Do you need me to, like, throw you a couple times in the air? Just like a... You know how, like, you gotta throw babies in the air to give them a little bit, like, sensory thing? Would that help?
If you throw me in the air, I will not let you cast Eldritch Blast for an entire week.
Considers it. It's like, okay, I was just offering. Is there anything that I can do? Okay, do you want to just go back to your nap?
Please.
Okay, and I put him back in my bag, and I go into the other room.
As you put Nick back, you get to see the cards, because like the cards are in the same pocket as Nick, and like the cards must have heard Nick talking about them, because you know how like the constellations in the back change to make different shapes and stuff. Well, both cards have like a sad face on the back.
I take the cards out, and I address them, and I just go. I did mean that. I am not currently interested in getting a new patron, but once my contract is up with Nick, because our contract is stipulated... Well, hold on, words. Supposedly my contract runs out once I free Nick. So it's like TBD. But I am keeping you as a passenger, but please play nice. Play nice, Nick. And this is all, by the way, this is like, once I bring the card, like, I say the first be nice out loud, and then be nice Nick is telepathic to Nick. And then I put the cards back in my bag, and I rejoin my friends.
As you put them back after your little talk, the face on the back of them changes from like a sad emoji to like heart emojis.
Oh.
So now that Finn's little segment is over, we go back to the patch folks. So patch folks, you got your new patches, and you got Farewell you can talk to. What you thinking? What you doing?
So farewell. What's the deal with the chef? What's his deal?
Oh, Farewell says, like, not really sure what the chef has to do with patches.
Oh, you know,
'cause
I just like I like pasta, and I think some chefs also like pasta. And I don't know, I was wondering if he also maybe liked pasta. But and Basil just like starts panicking and is like, "Oh, these badges, they're a very nice shade of green. I really like this color of green." And just like slaps the badge on his chest and leaves the room.
Callie, while
Bumps
Basil's
into
like,
Finn.
while Basil's like jammering, Callie just go, I think he's just hungry. We all are.
as you're leaving the room, Farewell answers your question and goes, he does like pasta and he makes really good lasagna, as you're like flustered. And
Basil
lasagna
just
sounds
shouts back.
good.
Basil just shouts back, "Heard, cool, thanks, bye," and is gone, fully gone.
So does anyone have any questions for Farewell?
What got you into this?
And at that, Farewell goes, well, what got me into what? Working on an airship?
Yeah.
Well, it's a rather long story, but I grew up a single kid. Had I had my parents had some pretty powerful friends. I grew up pretty well off, but it's kind of funny how you whether it's my parents or people like them, you tend to idealize them, but really at the end of the day, they're just people, people with too much power yet not enough at the same time. And some stuff went down. I kind of lost connections with one of my parents, not out of choice, but out of stuff that happened. And then my other parent, we couldn't see eye to eye, and he also didn't really agree with my decisions because I chose to not be like him. I mean, not that he's a bad person, but I didn't like having the kind of power that he has. It didn't feel right, and even though I had that power, it was like I had enough to cause damage, but not enough to like solve problems. And I solved more problems as the person I am now than the person I was. And I suppose I could solve problems doing just about any job anywhere, but I met these folks by chance shortly after parting ways from my family and the life I was expected to lead. And they accept me for who I am. They don't judge me for my choices. I mean, they don't really know much about. They both do and don't know about my past. It's kind of a gray area, but let's just say they're not judgmental folks. And I'm not necessarily on bad terms with my parents, but the folks on the ship feel more like family than the folks I grew up with, and they feel like the kind of people that I aspire to be, which I know might not sound like much because they're just airship merchants, and they're also Remembrance Guild members, and that's kind of another thing we kind of clash a bit on. A lot of them have gods or demigods. There's a lot of kinds of gods that they kind of put their faith in, and I learned a long time ago that you can't really put faith in gods. You can really only put faith in yourself. And I make sure they don't die on their Remembrance Guild missions, but I'm not really in the guild myself. So I know you guys aren't really in it for gods, which is why I was a bit surprised. But no matter the case, I hope that your Remembrance Guild stuff and the stuff that you want to do, I hope it's stuff that you're so proud of doing at the end of the day. I think for the most part they do good work, but I just would caution you that the Remembrance Guild, they are pretty good about picking gods that are on like the, I guess, good end of the spectrum, but there are gods that are best forgotten, and I would caution you to not trust every god just because you heard good things. So just kind of think critically, and at the end of the day, the only one that's going to save you from anything is yourself.
Well put.
Thanks.
Alright, so when's dinner? I am starving. I literally got taken away from breakfast, and I have not eaten yet today.
Make you something.
Oh yeah, you got any apples?
That's a different taste.
I have so many apples.
At the mention of Koki
Yes.
wanting to cook, Fairball goes, "Oh, do you cook some too? You know, a lot of us on the ship aren't so great cooks, so Vinny usually cooks by himself. But I'm sure he'd love help if you want to go stop by the kitchen."
Yeah.
And Basil suddenly appear at this point.
Yes.
Basil's
It's
just
like,
standing outside the door.
I'm coming with you about the pasta, and Kokia, I'm coming with you, and it's just like a little bit shaking.
Is their
What-
red a little flushed?
Yeah, they're just a little bit like brick red.
Yeah, you look like your blood sugar is low. Yeah,
Oh my god, it's gonna get so much. It's gonna get so much worse. So you enter the kitchen, and what did I name the cook again? Yeah. So Vincent, everyone calls him Vinny for short. Vinny's got his like sleeves rolled up to his elbows, and he's like stirring this big pot of like super chowder. You're not really sure which it is yet. And he sets the spoon down, and he goes over to like check his recipe or something. And he hasn't really noticed you yet until like the door swings, and then he turns and like, I mean, everyone on the ship's friendly, but he's especially friendly, and he like greets you all with a smile and just goes, "Hey, I just heard from Serena that you folks gonna be joining us for a while. Lucky for you, I tend to overcook. So there's definitely gonna be enough for all of us. Although the con of that is there probably won't be enough for seconds, but this whole crew's been getting seconds for years, so I'm not too worried."
Yeah, cooking. I bet you're so good at cooking. I bet. And that's basically all
Yeah.
Basil says.
It's
was
okay.
like-
They're just really hungry.
Yep.
Gets
Just
a little
super
jittery.
hungry.
Can I please do an insight check on Basil?
Yes, please go for it.
Oh my god, I'm so mad I'm missing this in character. I'm currently cussing.
Oh, damn it, I rolled a
I'm
2.
telling off
I'm so
Nick.
mad.
Honestly, Alicia, roll it with advantage. I feel like it's probably obvious.
All of us want you to succeed. You roll with advantage.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The power of friendship.
A 4, I do not succeed.
So-
Basil just
Better.
seems hungry.
So I'm gonna say at this point you're not sure if it's a crush, a cold, or what, but either way, Basil's definitely not at their default state.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Kokia. Blood sugar's low. We need to get food.
Yep.
Yeah.
That.
You guys just start shoving food at Basil.
So at the talk of snacks, then he goes, "Well, we got some. I got some. I know it's not the healthiest snack, but I do have some apple tarts that are from yesterday, so they're not super fresh, but there's still some of those left. I also got some granola and chocolate pieces if you like. Well, granola nuts and chocolate pieces if you like trail mix. That's what we got for snack right now. To be honest, I've been kind of stuck on the soup. So I had a soup recipe that I've used for years and years, but we had a recent skirmish with pirates that involved water guns for some reason. I don't know why they were shooting us with water guns, but anyway, either way, they hit my recipe book, so a bunch of the ink is smeared, and I'm kind of stuck on how much I need to put of what in what because I don't have it memorized, and I'm just really afraid to accidentally push too much salt in. Would anyone be willing to give it the taste? Because I'm really having a
I'll
hard
help you.
time telling if it's enough salt or not, or too much.
I'll help.
Awesome. So, Kokyo, roll a d3 and I'll tell you what happens.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you take a little tasty taste. It is I'm gonna say it's like a mixture of clam and corn chowder, freshly made. He's making it right now. So he was concerned about salt, but he should be concerned about sugar because it seems like he might have accidentally grabbed the sugar container because it is like pretty sweet right now.
Just like him.
Oh,
I'd like
okay.
whisper. I whisper that
Hey.
to Basil, and I'm like, "Quick, Basil, now's your chance."
So, how'd you get into cooking? What made you want to make pasta?
Well, Vinny goes, I make a lot more than pasta, but I got into cooking because I'm from a big family and I used to help my parents a lot with the cooking anyway. And working in the airship as a cook, it's a lot like working with a family, which we pretty much all are. Although the airship, the number of people we have in the airship, well, before you guys came, it's actually smaller than my family. I've got 5 siblings plus my parents, so I also have cousins that would visit a lot. So I just really like cooking and I really like flying, so it seemed like a good way to combine the two, you know?
That's such a cool story. You sound like such a cool person.
Thank you. Looking forward to getting notified. I've been in the kitchen too long. Steam's getting to me, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you all as well.
You too. And then Basil just leaves. He can't take it anymore. He's
At
gone.
this point, he takes another sip of his own chowder and he goes,
So
"Okay,
I'm
so
gonna
it's
tell
not the
them
salt."
what I find.
Yeah, go ahead and tell him.
So I don't think you put salt in. I think you put sugar.
At this, he goes, "Oh my god! I swear to God, if he did it again," and you just hear him shout, "Griff! Did you pull another one of your dumb pranks on me again? Griff!" And he's like shouting through like a hole in the floorboards where you can like see a little bit of like the sky above, and above the floorboard where there's that tiny hole, you can hear Griff like laughing, and he goes, "First time it was funny, now it's just annoying," and like Griff, you can hear Griff laughing up on deck, and Vinny just goes, "Excuse me," and he like leaves to go talk to Griff about playing a prank, yet the same prank for like the billionth time.
We just hear off screen just fight noises. They just start brawling.
Oh yeah, you messed with
You know,
my
an
kitchen,
easy
we're gonna
way-
start fighting too.
You know the easiest way to do this, like Callie's just kind of standing out to the side, like whispering to herself, like, the easiest way is just before you add stuff to your food, you just kind of taste it.
Taste it.
Just just look at it. It's good. She's just like, whatever.
So unfortunately, that is where we're gonna have to end the episode there tonight. So remember, folks, December 1st is gonna be the episode 1 through 10 recap, and then the episode after that will be episode 11, where we'll continue our airship journey. So I think Finn/Stormy wanted to say something before we left, so I'll give them a chance to do that.
Yes. So real quick, you may have noticed, if you're watching this on Twitch or on YouTube afterwards, that the character art for Finn has just updated. That's because I got a commission done from the lovely Yaks and Hats, who uses she, her, and he, he, him pronouns. Yaks does a lot of really great art. He does a lot of like what we do in the shadows art as well, if you like that show. I think we mentioned that like last session. But I just want to say that he was really good about keeping me updated throughout the entire process. She was like, feel free to be picky. It was great. And I didn't have a whole lot because she's a really good artist, but I just wanted to shout her out. Go follow her on Twitter or on Tumblr at Yaks and Hats. That is YAKSINHATS on Twitter and Tumblr.
So thank you for giving that shout out, Stormy, and thank you for Yaks and Hats for drawing that awesome picture. I also wanted to remind folks that if you go to our link tree and go to our wiki page, there is a tab. I can't remember if it's called credits or something else, but we do give art credits on our wiki. And I also wanted to mention that the picture of Farewell, the tiefling that we have on screen here, is by the artist Wormberry on Twitter, and you can see how their username is spelled on our wiki. I actually got it. This artist, they do a lot of like raffled things where you give them a prompt and you get a picture, like a quick picture for $15. So that's what this is from. So please check out and support these artists. I also, on our wiki credits for art, also give credits to the pit crews, because pit crew artists put a ton of work to make those images so customizable. So thank you again to artists. Thank you again to stock image sites such as Pexels and Unsplash, and thank you to like Incarnate, where I've used that to make maps as well. And thank you to like the cast and crew and listeners for supporting us all. This has been a great journey, and I look forward to continuing this campaign in future episodes. So thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything?
I do not.
Anything.
Whoa.
Sorry.
I was gonna say thank you to Henry for being Basil's first crush.
Oh,
Henry
If you
slash
ever see
Vincent.
this, I think that's everybody's crush.
I don't remember if you mentioned what Vincent's race was, but I'm just imagining them as Vinny Vinesauce, like the streamer. This is Vinny in my head now.
Oh, he's human.
Oh, yes, okay, so
Yeah.
good, hypothetically, hell yeah.
You're like, nice, I got it. So,
Anyway,
good night,
it's canon.
everyone. To see you December 1st.
Woo.
Good night.
Alright,
Have a
bye.
good
Good
day.
night.
Night, y'all.